Bruce Willis's wife, Emma Hemming, has found herself at the center of intense discussion and scrutiny after her recent revelations about the way their family is coping with the legendary actor's ongoing battle with frontotemporal dementia. The actress and model, who has been married to Bruce since 2009 and shares 2 young daughters with him, recently participated in an ABC News special where she spoke candidly about the toll the illness has taken on their family life. In the segment, Emma revealed something deeply personal. Bruce is no longer living at home with his family in the way the public might imagine, but instead in a living space designed specifically for people with his needs, a place that could provide the specialized support and environment required for someone facing his condition. For many, this revelation came as a shock, and while some expressed compassion, others were quick to criticize Emma for a decision they believed showed distance from her husband at a time when, in their eyes, he might need his family most. The backlash was immediate and, in some corners of the internet, harsh. Social media users filled comment sections with opinions, some claiming that Emma should have kept Bruce at home no matter what the difficulty, others insisting that a devoted spouse should never live apart from their partner during illness. Yet Emma herself, clearly bracing for such reactions, responded with both honesty and strength. Taking to Instagram on Friday following the airing of the special, she posted a message that addressed the criticisms head-on. In her statement, she explained that she had always understood that by choosing to share such deeply intimate information with the world, she would be opening herself and her family up to 2 types of responses: one group of people who had an opinion, and another group who actually had experienced, those who truly knew what it meant to care for a loved one living with dementia. She made it clear that the voices that matter most to her are the ones of those who know what this journey is really like, who have walked the same path, and who understand the excruciating choices caregivers are forced to make. Emma further reflected on how quickly online spaces turn judgmental, especially toward caregivers. She observed that the people who step up to take care of their loved ones often face criticism, no matter what choices they make. If a caregiver decides to bring in professional help, they're accused of abandonment. If they try to handle everything alone, they're told they're not doing enough. It's a no-win situation for those living in the public eye, and even more so for someone like Emma, whose every move is magnified by her connection to one of Hollywood's most beloved figures. For her, the backlash wasn't surprising, but it was still painful. She admitted that after the special aired, she turned to her own book for guidance, revisiting her own words about strength and resilience in the face of adversity, reminding herself to focus on what truly matters rather than the noise of public opinion. The core of Emma's message was simple, yet powerful. People who haven't lived with dementia, who haven't watched someone they love slip away, piece by piece to the illness, who haven't had to make gut-wrenching decisions about their care, do not get to have a say. She referred to the critics as loud and noisy, a phrase that captured the way social media magnifies uninformed voices, drowning out the quieter, more compassionate perspectives. Yet despite the noise, Emma stands firm in her truth. She knows the reality of her husband's condition, the complexities of raising their children while also ensuring Bruce receives the best possible care, and the difficulty of balancing personal emotions with practical necessities. To understand why Emma's decision was both difficult and necessary, one must first understand the devastating effects of frontotemporal dementia. Unlike Alzheimer's, which most people are more familiar with, FTD typically strikes earlier in life, often in a person's 50s or 60s. It can dramatically alter personality, behavior, and communication skills, stripping away the essence of who someone once was in ways that are painful for families to witness. For Bruce Willis, an actor known for his charisma, wit, and commanding presence on screen, the disease has taken a toll that is not just physical but emotional for everyone around him. Emma, along with Bruce's ex-wife, Demi Moore, and their adult daughters, has been open about how they are navigating this heartbreaking chapter. They have emphasized the importance of unity, of coming together as a family to surround Bruce with love even as the man they knew changes in ways beyond anyone's control. But love, as Emma's decision shows, is not always expressed in ways the public expects. Sometimes love means letting go of certain ideals of togetherness in order to ensure proper care. Sometimes love means acknowledging that one person alone cannot carry the burden of such a complex illness, that a supportive environment designed for dementia patients can provide safety, structure, and professional resources that a home setting simply cannot match. Emma's choice does not reflect a lack of devotion, but rather a recognition of reality, one that countless families around the world face when dementia reshapes their lives. To judge her is to ignore the heartbreaking complexity of caregiving, a role that requires resilience, sacrifice, and an unshakable commitment to doing what is best for the patient, even if it doesn't align with conventional expectations. Emma's Instagram post served not only as a defense of her personal decisions, but also as a reminder of the wider societal problem: the tendency to romanticize caregiving while minimizing its realities. Caregivers are often expected to be selfless to the point of martyrdom, never showing signs of exhaustion, doubt, or grief. But Emma's openness challenges that narrative. She acknowledges the exhaustion, the challenges, and the impossible choices. She doesn't pretend to be perfect. Instead, she shows that caregiving is a role filled with contradictions: love mixed with loss, duty mixed with despair, strength mixed with vulnerability. In doing so, she offers a more honest, human picture of what it means to care for someone with dementia. The responses to Emma's words have been divided. On one hand, there are those who applaud her courage in speaking out, who thank her for shedding light on the caregiver's journey, and who express empathy rather than judgment. These are often the people who, like Emma said, have lived through similar experiences, who have seen a parent, spouse, or sibling decline under the grip of dementia and know the agony of making care decisions that feel both necessary and heartbreaking. On the other hand, there are the critics who, from a place of distance and perhaps misunderstanding, accuse Emma of giving up, of failing to stand by her husband in the way they believe they would in her position. But the truth is that no one can know what they would do until they are actually living it. Until they are forced to balance the needs of a loved one with the needs of themselves and their children. Until they have faced nights of exhaustion and mornings of despair. Until they have seen firsthand the cruelty of a disease like FTD. For Bruce Willis, whose career has spanned decades with iconic roles in films like Die Hard, Pulp Fiction, and The Sixth Sense, his illness has drawn attention not only because of his fame but because it highlights a struggle that thousands of families endure in private. The fact that his story is so public has made Emma's role as caregiver even more complicated. Every choice she makes becomes a matter of public debate. Every revelation scrutinized. Every word weighed against the expectations of millions of fans who still see Bruce as the larger-than-life hero he played on screen. Emma has had to navigate this delicate balance, sharing enough to honor Bruce's fans and raise awareness about dementia, while also protecting the privacy and dignity of her husband and their children. It's a balance that no one could ever prepare for, and one that requires immense grace. The backlash she faces speaks volumes about the way society views both illness and caregiving. We live in a culture where people are quick to pass judgment from the safety of their screens, often without considering the full picture. It is easier to label someone's choices as right or wrong than to acknowledge the messy, complicated reality that most caregivers live every day. Emma's willingness to confront that judgment directly is, in itself, an act of courage. She could have remained silent, letting the critics speak unchecked, but instead, she chose to use her platform to push back, to remind people that unless they have walked in her shoes, their opinions carry little weight.